And welcome to the University of New England and to the graduation ceremony for awards in the Faculty of Medicine and Health. May I ask that you now please stand for the entry of the academic procession and the Chancellor of the University of New England, and remain standing for the National Anthem. Thank you.
Please be seated. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land that we call New England and pay my respects to their elders past and present. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of New England this afternoon for the spring graduation ceremony for the Faculty of Medicine and Health. A special welcome to our occasional address speaker, Professor Bridget Hayward, Vice-Chancellor of the University of New England, to Councillor Eric Noakes, Mayor of Walkershire Council, Councillor Brad Widders, representing the Armidale Regional Council, Deputy Chancellor Ms Jan McClelland, Esquire Bedell, Emeritus Professor Ray Cooksey, my fellow council members, members of the senior executive and the entire university community, and you, our graduates. It is your day. This is what we're all here for. So please enjoy it. Treasure this moment. You've worked hard to get here, so enjoy it. You all came here to do a certain thing that you chose to do. And you've learned the knowledge and learnt the skills that the institution can teach you. That knowledge and skills will help you not only as individuals and your families to enrich your lives and make them better and broader and wider, and give you a greater opportunity to get the job that you want. But I also hope you remember that you will live in communities all over the world, and wherever those communities may be, you will have an extraordinary opportunity, and especially in the professions that you're going into, to make those communities better places to live, richer and more vibrant. So please, when you close the office door at night, when you walk out, think about those communities that you're living in and help add a vibrancy and a willingness to help them become better communities. So once again, enjoy today. It's your day. And I have great pleasure in declaring this ceremony open and ask Anawin Elder Colin Ahoy to make welcome to country.
A welcome to country shows respect for the traditional custodians of a particular region or area. Where an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander elder from the local region welcomes people to their land. This may be done through speech, song or dance. Protocols for welcoming visitors to country have been a part of Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander cultures for thousands of years. Despite the absence of fences or visible borders, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander groups had clear boundaries separating their country from that of other groups. Crossing into another group's country required a request for permission to enter, like gaining a visa, and when that permission was granted, the hosting group would welcome the visitors. While visitors were provided with a safe passage, they also had to respect the protocols and rules of the landowner group while on their country. Today, obviously, much has changed, and these protocols have been adapted to contemporary circumstances. But the essential ingredients of welcoming visitors and offering safe passage remain in place. The land where this university stands is the country of my people, the Anawin people, who are the traditional custodians of this land. And we share the caring of this country with the Gumbaynggirri, Dunghutti and Kamilaroi people. I pay respect to the elders of those nations, both past and present, and I extend that same respect to each of you here today, and welcome. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Colin, very much. It's my great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce and invite our new Vice-Chancellor, Professor Bridget Hayward, to deliver the occasional address. Professor Hayward brings an extraordinary breadth and width of knowledge about the tertiary sector right round the world. She has a passion for this sector and a passion for this university, and I'm sure in the years to come she will guide us in an interesting and exciting way. So please, would you welcome Professor Bridget Hayward to deliver today's occasional address.
Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, members of council, academic colleagues, parents, friends, guardians and graduands. Good afternoon. I'm 2 weeks old, and this morning I was a virgin to UNE graduation ceremonies. Now clearly I'm an experienced colleague. They've trusted me with offering wise, inspirational words to you, our 2019 UNE graduands. I will endeavour to do so. When asked to do these things, you rack your brain, if not your heart, about what you ought to say. I've asked myself what I wished I had known at my own graduation many years ago. I won't quote the number. And what important lessons I have learned in the years that have expired between that day and this. There have been many. Down the ages, it appears that a traditional form of this speech has evolved, in which some senior person, me on this occasion, their best years behind them, not yet, but closing, who over the course of their life has made a series of dreadful mistakes, that would be me, being asked to give heartfelt advice to shining, energetic people on the cusp of starting their lives, with all their best years ahead of them, not behind them. That's you. That said, I have a mission here to accomplish, and I will endeavour to do so by offering words of wisdom and inspiration. That if not you, because you're caught up in the excitement of the day, hopefully your mother, your father, your significant other, or some other relative will remember years from now. My speech is framed around the fact that I was trained as a scientist. I think I was trained in the womb to be a scientist, or at some point between being an egg and being fertilised and coming onto this planet. So the scientist in me is going to share the laws, rules and facts of what it is to graduate and what you should gain from today's experience. So first of all, a set of rules. And the first rule is, life, if not the other form of material, happens. So my journey. I'm the illegitimate daughter of an Irish Catholic girl born in the 1950s. You can imagine the limited opportunities that were presented to me at that time. I was also born with a chronic speech defect and I'm dyslexic. My mother was determined that I would be educated, and other people were determined that a chronic speech defect would be resolved and that somehow or another the confusion of letters and words on a page would be revealed to me by one means or another. All of them were successful in their ambitions to make my life opportunities real. I gained scholarships to go to school. I gained scholarships to go to university. Like many of you, I was dependent on the generosity of others and their commitment to the power of education to make that opportunity available to me. I'm going to have to drink because I'm going to dry up, sorry. That's better. So when I went to university, only 5% of eligible students could enter. Bohemian Rhapsody was a hit for the first time round. It cost 10 pence to make a telephone call home, and I was alive when man was first landing on the moon. I will come back to that topic. Adversity makes you stronger is clearly the message of this part of my presentation. I enjoyed university, I explored the sciences, I qualified with a number of degrees, and they set me on the stage to a life committed to exploring research, knowledge creation and education as powerful tools to change lives. I have been fortunate to work around the world, to have lunch with Nobel Prize winners, to have dinners with peers of the realm, members of parliament, people who've made great discoveries. And I've also met at many graduation ceremonies students who were excited about what they had achieved through their degrees and the life they were looking forward to. Each one of them reminded me of the excitement of my graduation day, and I still can't remember why I was excited, other than that somebody was going to give me a degree. I don't remember who it was, so please pay close attention to the Chancellor. Chancellor Harris will give you your degrees. The next point of these speeches is not to delay the moment when you graduate just a smidge longer, and certainly not to give you more lessons. No one needs more advice on how to relax after lectures and tests, etc. So this advice is for you to store away somewhere, and remember once real life starts beating the drum. Because it will happen somewhere, and this advice is for those hard times. This is advice for you when you're struggling to kick off your careers, make those dreams come true. So now I would offer my second rule, and it's the rule about princesses and cowboys. Play hard, fight hard. So first of all, knowing who you are will help you when it comes time to fight. Fight for the job you want, fight for the people who mean the most to you, and fight for the kind of world that you want to live in. My generation are not particularly proud of the world we have left you, but hopefully, through the kind of education that a university like New England has developed, you are better prepared to make a better job of it. So fight for the world you want to live in and for the people that you would like to be there with you. People will say it's impossible and that you can't do this or you can't do that. I used to be labelled stupid. I'm standing here today as a Vice-Chancellor. Take that. Take the unexpected opportunities when they come. If you know yourself and if you fight for what you believe in, I can promise you that you will live a life that is rich with meaning. If everybody followed their first dreams in life, the world would be ruled by cowboys and princesses. The next rule, this is called the rule of the rising bar. It doesn't matter how far you rise. You will at some point stumble. You will at some point fall. Because you're constantly doing the thing that we've inducted into you as part of your university education here, that your parents have built into you, which is why you are here, and that life will throw at you because that's what life does. Constantly raising the bar. If you're constantly pushing yourself higher and higher, the law of averages, not to mention the myth of Icarus, predicts that you will at some point fall. And when you do, I want you to know this, to remember this: there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just a force trying to move you in a different direction. Of course, and this is the third law, you are unique. You may be described as a generalist, but you're also very specific. As well as being a particular citizen of a particular community, each of you is like nobody else on the planet. Consider that. Consider how many people live on this planet, and there is no one else quite like you. Doesn't that just send a tingle down the back of your spine? Nobody has the exact memory that you have. Nobody will react to the particular environmental forces of life in the way that you will do. What is now known is not all that you are capable of being. You are your own stories and therefore free to imagine and free to experience what it means to be a human. But you also have to be a successful human. That's the bargain. You have to be a successful human without domination over others, without reckless arrogance, without fear of others unlike you, without rotating, rehearsing, or reinventing the hatreds that you perhaps learned in the sandbox. And although you don't have complete control over the narrative of your life, none of us does, I can tell you, you could nevertheless create the life that you want to live. I would like to use here the famous words of that scholar Denzel Washington, who borrowed them from Mark Twain, who quoted them from Plato. Fall forward. This is the fourth rule of life. People remember the home runs, but not the strikeouts, not the missed wickets, Australians particularly, and not the balls that missed the hoop. The exam grades that were perhaps an F and not an A. They are not remembered. So in the disappointments of life, fall forward. Remember that Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments, and it was only the 1,001st that was the light bulb moment. Fall forward. Every single step is one step closer to success. Everyone will draw lines for you, especially when they think you should have achieved something or proved something or become something in a specific time scale. It's your job to cross those lines out. It's your job to jump over them or ignore them altogether if you choose. Do something because you choose to do it, not because others tell you to do it. Do something because you believe in it and it will transform you. So finally, I'd like you to promise me something as the Vice-Chancellor in the same way that you're going to promise yourself something. That in times of uncertainty, in times of where the clarity is less than it should be, or in times of chaos, that you will be the bravest self that you can be. That you will confront the challenges of the world. And when these uncertain times call, you will embrace that inner, unique you. Embrace community, not division. And that you will live to the commitment for equal justice under the law today and throughout your entire lives. Fearlessness means taking the first step, even if you don't know where it will take you. It means being driven by a higher purpose rather than by applause. It means knowing that you will reveal your character when you stand apart more than when you stand with the crowd. Be fearless. Be the last people to accept things as they are and the first to stand up and change them for the better. So my two final thoughts, one of which is I'd like to share with you my two favourite animals, just in case everything else I've said meant nothing to you. I think you should know about my two favourite animals. They are the elephant and the turtle. And the reason is that in order for them to move, they have to stick their necks out, or their noses out, depending on which one you prefer. So there are times in life when you're going to have to stick your neck out, stick your trunk out, and there will be challenges. Stand tall, do not hide, and go out and meet those challenges. And second, I'd like to close with a scientific fact. We're not just gathered here today in this lovely auditorium in the lovely weather of New England. You were all strapped in and seated together in a gigantic ball whirling around the sun at 670,000 miles per hour, nested in a galaxy hurtling to the depths of space at the time of 1.3 million miles per hour. Can you feel it? Can you feel the excitement? 50 odd years ago, man stood on the moon for the first time, and I remember it. Today, UNE graduates, you are about to stand on planet Earth as new citizens. Today you will graduate, so enjoy the ride and lean forward. Thanks to the degree that you have secured today through the University of New England, you are ready for flight. You are ready to lean forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget, very much. They're good lessons to remember. I now invite the graduation ceremony musicians to perform. Would you please remain seated while they do so?
La donna immobile, cal pium al vento, muta d'argento e di pensiero.
Sempre un amabile leggiadro viso, in quanto in riso e menzognero.
La donna immobile, cal pium al vento, muta d'argento e di pensiero. E di pensiero. E sempre misero che alle s'affida, chi le convida, mal cauto il cuore. Ormai non sentisi felice a pieno, chi non che il seno non li va morre.
La donna immobile, cal pium al vento, muta d'argento e di pensiero.
E di pensiero. E di pensiero.
Thank you very much. We are blessed in this university community, but also the wider New England community, to have some extraordinarily talented musicians, and you've seen some today. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. I now invite the Chair of the Academic Board, Professor Mark Perry, to present the candidates for their degrees.
Would the graduands please stand? Chancellor, I submit to you the list of candidates as set out in the programme who have completed all requirements and are entitled to be admitted to their respective academic degrees and awards.
In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit these candidates to their respective degrees and awards.
Would the graduates please be seated? Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you all those candidates newly admitted to academic degrees and awards who are able to be present here today at this ceremony, commencing with those candidates newly admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Leslie Jane Douglas, Rewriting Stories of Trauma, Mentoring for and by at-risk young people. Dr. Kylie Patricia Harris, Spiritual Emergence, Psychosis and Personality, Differentiation, Identification and Measurement. Chancellor, I now invite the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health, Professor Rod McClure, to present the candidates newly admitted to the degrees and awards, commencing with the degree of Master, who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those candidates newly awarded the degree of Masters from the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Master of Counselling, Cecilia Brever. Kenneth David Cole. Kayla Shea Perugini. Master of Health Management, Abdullah Mohammed Al-Subay. Stephanie Claire Huntley. Elizabeth Rachel Moore. And Felicia Vainatos. Master of International Health Management, Sally O'Loughlin. Master of Mental Health Care Practice, Linda Ijeoma Ibinije. Master of Nursing, Lee Peters. Master of Nursing Practice, Sabita Bania. Sushmita Bania. Vidya Basnet. Subha Bhattarai. Sabita Gautam, Dishita Nopane, Srijana Pantha, Ishu Pokhrel, Muna Sapkota, Nabisha Shaka, Shamila Sharma, Dawalami Sherpa, Lopsang Dolma Tamang, Amrita Upadhyay, Master of Psychology Clinical, Felicity Claire Anichish. Stephanie Ann O'Loughlin. Karen Robertson. Master of Social Work, Professional Qualifying, Georgia May Eads. Stephen Hare. Diane Claire Kelly. Karishma Kamal Maharaj. Tanya Lee Patterson. Nicole Ann Susan Price. Brittany Grace Stace. Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those candidates newly awarded the Graduate Diploma and Graduate Certificate from the Faculty of Medicine and Health. Graduate Diploma in Counselling, Catherine Lynette Elliott. Graduate Diploma in Psychology, Leanne Bora. Unil Chandra. Kelly Jane Hodge. Jennifer Susan Murphy. Graduate Certificate in Health Professional Education, Anne-Marie Griffiths. Alicia Lee Yun Ma. Graduate Certificate in Mental Health Practice, Melinda O'Reilly. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the newly admitted Master's graduates and newly awarded Graduate Diploma and Graduate Certificate graduates from the Faculty of Medicine and Health who were able to be here today. Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those candidates newly awarded the degree of Bachelor with Honours and Bachelors from the School of Rural Medicine. Renata, this is Bachelor of Pharmacy with Honours, Renata Jabovic. Bachelor of Medicine, Terendu Malawarachi. Monica Tay. Bachelor of Pharmacy, Majida Mitchell. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the newly admitted Bachelor with Honours and Bachelor graduates from the School of Rural Medicine who were able to be here today. Chancellor, I now invite the Head of School of Health, Associate Professor Jane Clark, to present the candidates newly admitted to the degree of Bachelor who were able to be at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those candidates newly awarded the degree of Bachelor from the School of Health. Bachelor of Nursing, Sylvia Safo Ajimang. Usha Baral. Nisha Basnet. Supala Gautam Chamir. Merrin Joy Heffernan. Srijana Kati Chetri Kek. Londwi Fumalela Moyo. Sumana Pathak. Ratisa Rijal. Sushrita Shrethra. Alexandria Helen Stevenson. Bachelor of Social Work, Megan Helen Apps. Brittany Kristen Marie Chester. Natalie Marie Sutherland. Lauren Jane Louise Watkins. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the newly admitted Bachelor graduates from the School of Health who were able to be here today. Chancellor, I now invite the Head of School of Psychology, Professor Deborah Dunstan, to present the candidates newly admitted to the degree of Bachelor with Honours and Bachelor, and the candidates newly awarded the diploma who are able to be present at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I now have the honour to present to you those candidates newly awarded the degree of Bachelor from the School of Psychology. Bachelor of Audiometry, Irene Pillay. Bevan Gregory Pillay. Bachelor of Psychological Science, Jessica Louise Abel. Angela Jeanette Batty. Catherine Duffy. Mark Anthony Harris. Amy Keenan. Cheryl Marie McGregor. Lisa Marie Cruz Ritchie. Megan Lee Ruff. Peter Robert Watson. Catherine Mary Webb. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the newly admitted bachelor's graduates from the School of Psychology who were able to be here today.
Congratulations, one and all. And now invite Karen Robertson to deliver the vote of thanks on your behalf.
Psychology 101. When anxious, just take a deep breath very slowly. Good afternoon, everybody. I feel very privileged on behalf of all the graduates to be asked to give the vote of thanks to those people who have helped make it possible for us to graduate today. We give our sincere thanks to the Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor, Council members, local elder distinguished guests, academic staff, fellow graduates, family and friends. Before I proceed though, I'd like to acknowledge the Anawan people who are the traditional custodians of this land upon which we meet today. I would also like to pay respect to the elders, both past and present, of the Gumbaynggirr, Kamilaroi and Ngungati nations, and extend that respect to other Aboriginals present. And please accept my apologies for any incorrect pronunciations. It's also important to me that I acknowledge those people present who are living with or have lived with or have a lived experience of mental health illness. For many of us, our graduation is the culmination of many sleepless nights, many tears and untold stress. However, the upside to all of this, besides our amazing achievement of graduating, includes the many wonderful memories we now have, the lifelong friendships that have formed, and of course the outstanding education we received here at the University of New England. Some of my favourite memories from Armidale are perhaps similar to some of my fellow graduates, and they involve the friendship and the camaraderie among my cohort during events such as our weekly Wednesday trivia nights at the Welder's Dog, gym activities such as yoga at Sport UNE, the regular Friday nights when many of us pulled all-nighters in the Master's study room to get our assessments finished, while we had pizza, chips, chocolate, burgers from Neville's, and maybe a drop or two of wine. And finally, when I learnt that dancing in the dark without disco lights was a real event that you could attend weekly in a room with a heap of other people who also like dancing in the dark. And for those of you who have never heard of this, which I hadn't until I come to Armidale, it's a bit like going to the gym and standing in a line or whatever within the room, turning the lights off and just dancing away to the music. I actually did enjoy it. My one regret is that I never did get to experience the Stro on a Thursday night, or any other for that matter, with young Daniel from my cohort, who had many big nights there. Even though I am normally a pretty social person, I just couldn't keep up the pace with the younger ones in my cohort and get all my assessments in on time. I'm sure many, if not all, of my fellow graduates have specific individual academic staff members they would like to thank for their incredible assistance while completing their programs. But I'm the one that got the stage, so please indulge me in thanking Dr. Clara Murray from the School of Psychology. And congratulations, Clara, on the new gig as Acting Director of the Clinical Psychology Program. The university has such an amazing asset in Clara, and I'm glad they retrieved you from Ireland to help foster success for more psychology students with their studies and careers. I know that my entire cohort found your teaching invaluable. Your methods made the learning process far more interesting, and on a very personal note, you were incredibly supportive of me when I was at my most stressed. Your door was always open, your ears always ready to listen. This truly made a difference to how I coped and succeeded at university. So thank you, Clara. And that is one of the type of support students received here at UNE that has helped so many of us succeed. I would also like to thank Pam Mitchell, who was the admin manager in the UNE Psychology Clinic during my cohort's time here. She provided wonderful support to all of us when we were finally on clinical placements with real people and not just doing those horrendous role plays among ourselves. I would like to thank also my husband Ian for his support, especially when I moved from Newcastle to Armidale for the year that I was on campus and on placement, with very little time to get back home, so that I could achieve my goal of becoming a clinical psychologist. I would also like to thank my beautiful sister-in-law Susan, who, as per her usual selflessness, so willingly and generously offered me accommodation in her home, which helped ease some of the financial burden of not working while being at UNE and away from home. Put simply, none of us could have made it to this day purely as a result of our own efforts. We have done it with the support and input of many people within and outside the university, and with the wealth of resources available within the University of New England. Some of that support has been in the way of scholarships, without which some individuals would not have had the incredible opportunity of completing their studies here. And it certainly removed some of my stress as I was a participant of one. There's a quote that I've always liked, that it's argued whether or not Winston Churchill said this, but I was reminded of it while thinking about all the people who have given of themselves to help us achieve our goals, whether that be our peers, academics, other university staff, family, or friends. The saying goes, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. On behalf of today's graduates, I would like to thank all those people who have been so supportive and giving. My hope is that as graduates, we can pay that giving forward as we apply the knowledge and skills we have acquired here at this beautiful university out there in our communities to make a fulfilling life for all of us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Karen. Graduates, you've joined an extraordinary family by graduating from this university. It's called the Alumni of the University of New England. We would love you to join it. We'd like to hear from you, hear what you're doing, but also it gives us an opportunity to tell you what's going on here. And also use it as your instant network. Some of you will go into towns and cities that you really don't know anybody in, but the chances are there will be somebody from the alumni there who may be able to help you in your work or find somewhere to live or just simply to tell you where you can buy the best cup of coffee. So use that network. It's important, and fellow alumni I know would be more than willing to help you. As Karen said, you didn't get here on your lonesome. It was through the help of staff, whether they be academic or professional, family and friends. The people who put the odd meal on the table, maybe help you with a bit of rent, or just simply take those kids for the day so you can get that assignment finished. So please, could you be on your feet and thank them in the usual manner with a round of applause. Thank you very much. You be seated. Life is one long learning road, and when you decide to take the next step down that road, please think of the University of New England, this place on the hill. We would love to see you in the future so we can help you develop ever greater ways that where you want to develop. Also, on your behalf, I would like to thank the people who have made today possible to run so smoothly. People from Student Services, MFS, the gardeners who really have done an extraordinary job with this campus. Though we've had no rain and they've got very little water, they still managed to make it look as good as it does. And for those who want a party afterwards, I've been told to tell you that the Stroh is open, and the Stroh is just up there and to your right, and they would love to see you to help celebrate your great day today with your family and friends. I now invite our new graduates to process at the end of the academic procession and ask you to stand for the academic anthem Gaudeamus Igitus, and I declare the ceremony closed.